If we were not all so interested in ourselves, life would be so uninteresting that none of us would be able to endure it. Faith is like love, it does not let itself be forced. We seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack. I have long held the opinion that the amount of noise that anyone can bear undisturbed stands in inverse proportion to his mental capacity and therefore be regarded as a pretty fair measure of it. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. He who writes carelessly confesses thereby at the very outset that he does not attach much importance to his own thoughts. There are very few who can think, but every man wants to have an opinion, and what remains but to take it ready-made from others, instead of forming opinions for himself. After your death, you will be what you were before your birth. Ordinary people merely think how they shall spend their time. A man of talent tries to use it. Politeness is to human nature what warmth is to wax. The business of the novelist is not to relate great events, but to make small ones interesting. Reading is thinking with someone else's head instead of one's own. To be shocked at how deeply rejection hurts is to ignore what acceptance involves. We must never allow our suffering to be compounded by suggestions that there is something odd in suffering so deeply. There would be something amiss if we didn't. To find out your real opinion of someone, judge the impression you have when you first see a letter from them. To be alone is the fate of all great minds, a fate deplored at times, but still always chosen as the less grievous of two evils. All truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident. The greatest of follies is to sacrifice health for any other kind of happiness. Nature shows that with the growth of intelligence comes increased capacity for pain, and it is only with the highest degree of intelligence that suffering reaches its supreme point. The alchemists in their search for gold discovered many other things of greater value. There is no doubt that life is given us, not to be enjoyed, but to be overcome, to be got over. Almost all of our sorrows spring out of our relations with other people. With people of limited ability, modesty is merely honesty. But with those who possess great talent, it is hypocrisy. Journalists are like dogs, whenever anything moves they begin to bark. Just remember, once you're over the hill you begin to pick up speed. The two enemies of human happiness are pain and boredom. The wise have always said the same things, and fools, who are the majority, have always done just the opposite. Every nation ridicules other nations, and all are right. Men are by nature merely indifferent to one another, but women are by nature enemies. Satisfaction consists in freedom from pain, which is the positive element of life. Wicked thoughts and worthless efforts gradually set their mark on the face, especially the eyes. A man's face as a rule says more, and more interesting things, than his mouth, for it is a compendium of everything his mouth will ever say, in that it is the monogram of all this man's thoughts and aspirations. The longer a man's fame is likely to last, the longer it will be in coming. Boredom is just the reverse side of fascination. Both depend on being outside rather than inside a situation, and one leads to the other. The doctor sees all the weakness of mankind, the lawyer all the wickedness, the theologian all the stupidity. The first 40 years of life give us the text, the next 30 supply the commentary on it. Willpower is to the mind like a strong blind man who carries on his shoulders a lame man who can see. The more unintelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him. Will minus intellect constitutes vulgarity.